Hey folks, my name is Glenn Tozier. I'm the MPC's Digital Services Librarian, and I'm excited to work with you guys this semester in your English 1A class. Now, before we dive in, there are two things that are more important than anything else that I'm going to go over today. The first one is these two URLs right here. That one right there, that's the library homepage for MPC. Everything I'm going to show you guys is available through that website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The second URL right here, that is a web page that I made for you guys that has resources that are specific to the class and the paper that you're writing. The second thing that I just want to mention before we move on is that even though the physical MPC library is closed, there are still lots of ways to get help with your research. You can chat live with the librarian, you can text us, you could submit questions in a form, or, as usual, you can always give us a call. So before we dive in and talk about the academic library, I want to talk about two resources that we all use all the time. The open web and Wikipedia. So first off, the open web, that basically just means anything that you can access online without having to sign in, pay money to get access for, etc. Basically anything that you can find on Google for free. So it's basically what we normally call the internet. And you guys know there's all kinds of stuff out there. One surprising thing, though, is that the open web actually represents a very small percentage of everything that's out there and online. Another thing, there's very little scholarly or original research. A lot of people are talking about research that's happened online, but not very many people are actually putting that original research out there on the open web. And I want you guys to think about why, when we're doing academic level research, why would we maybe want to find that original source? And the last thing is that out on the open web, misinformation is pretty common. And this is compounded by something that we call a filter bubble, or filter bubbles. And I'm going to talk about more of that in just one sec. Last little thing I want to talk about real quick, Wikipedia, something we all use. Main thing to remember about that is that the quality of articles vary greatly. It's maintained by volunteer editors, which can be a great thing and is one of the reasons why Wikipedia is free. But there are some disadvantages to it. Can you think of any? Last thing, Wikipedia is not presenting original research. Rather, that it's a lot of people talking about research that's already happened. So it's not the greatest source for academic level research, even if it does give you a good overview. A little bit more on filter bubbles. Now what this is the confluence of personalization online that has a tendency to only show you what you already believe, show you what content providers think that you're going to click on, and hide things you don't agree with or hide things content providers don't think that you want to see. Now, the example I always use, as you can see down here, a picture of my ancient phone, was if I'm hungry, I might pull out my phone and Google sandwich shop. Now, Google would see by my location that I'm in Seaside, where I live, and so it's going to show me sandwich shops that are in Seaside. It will see from the type of device that I'm using that I'm using a pretty old phone. It might assume that I'm poor, so it might show me inexpensive places to go and eat. And then finally, let's pretend that I'm vegan and that I've Googled for vegan recipes. It'll also show me sandwich shops that are vegan. Now that can be super useful when I'm looking for a sandwich shop. But that can be problematic if I'm starting to try and do some academic level research. I don't necessarily want Google to only show me things that they think people in Seaside want to see. It's going to hurt my research if I only see search results based on any of the factors that Google knows about me. And so I want you to think a little bit about how only seeing the things that Google thinks that you want to see might affect what you're going to find when you're researching. And this isn't true just of Google. The filter bubble exists in all kinds of online platforms. This has had some pretty profound effects, as we've been seeing in our latest election and the media environment that we're finding ourselves in right now as well. So what does an academic library, or the MPC library, have for you? Well, first thing I want to mention are these peer-reviewed or academic journal articles. Now, when I talk to getting to that original bit of research, those original studies, rather than just hearing people talk about studies that have happened, that is the type of resource that you're going to find. And we have a ton of them through our databases and on MPC OneSearch. We also have a lot of magazine and newspaper articles. Books. We got a ton of books. And because of the pandemic, I spent most of the summer adding over 200,000 ebooks, duplicating a lot of the collection that we already had in print. Specialized databases. We have databases that all they have is statistical sets, laws, stuff like that. And lastly, expertise. Human beings that can help you with your research. And that's the last thing that I'm going to talk about in this video, is getting help with your research. So I want to let you know that you can chat live with a librarian Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can get to that just over on the right side of the guide here where it has a little chat box by texting that number, or if you click on Online Library Help from the library homepage, there'll be a chat box there for you to use. Also, using the Online Library Help link, you can submit a question to us anytime, and we always get back to you, usually within less than a day, sometimes just a couple hours. Of course, you can always email me directly. I'm at gtozier@mpc.edu.